Imagine for a moment that everything you learned about the beginning of human civilization is only a small fragment of a much larger, far older story. You wake up one day and realize that beneath the familiar timeline of pyramids, cities, and written records lies a deeper layer. Silent monuments built thousands of years before anyone was supposed to have the tools, the organization, or even the idea to create them. What if we are not the first great civilization to walk this earth? What if ancient clues scattered across continents and beneath the oceans are quietly whispering that sophisticated societies rose and faded long before the dawn of recorded history? The more you listen, the more these questions pull you in, because deep down, you sense that the official story might be incomplete, and the truth could rewrite everything we think we know about who we are. Stay with me until the very end, because by the time we finish exploring these forgotten chapters, you'll never look at human history the same way again. For most of us, the standard timeline feels solid. Modern humans like you and me have existed for roughly 300,000 years. For the vast majority of that enormous span, our ancestors lived as nomadic hunter-gatherers in small groups, moving with the seasons, hunting animals, and gathering plants. Daily life revolved around simple survival. There were no permanent settlements, no writing systems, and certainly no giant monuments. Just a quiet, steady rhythm of existence that left few traces for us to find today. Then, about 12,000 years ago, something profound began to shift. As the last ice age slowly came to an end, climates around the world became more stable and warmer. For the first time, people started planting crops and domesticating animals. This transition, known as the Neolithic Revolution, allowed humans to settle in one place, grow populations, and build more complex societies. Eventually, this led to the first true cities appearing around 6,000 years ago, in places like Uruk in Mesopotamia or Jericho in the Levant. These early cities represented a huge leap forward. They brought people together into large communities, organized trade networks, formed early states, and created impressive structures, temples, defensive walls, and monumental architecture. Writing was invented, allowing humans to record events, laws, and stories, officially beginning the chapter we call recorded history. Yet, when we step back and look at the bigger picture, our civilization still looks remarkably young. Out of those 300,000 years of modern human existence, only the last 6,000 years, roughly 2%, represent everything we usually associate with civilization. Almost all the knowledge we have about ourselves, preserved in clay tablets, ancient texts, churches, and historical records, comes from this incredibly short, recent period. That raises a fascinating question. What about all those thousands upon thousands of years before we started writing our story down? Were there previous chapters that we have simply not yet uncovered? This vast gap in our historical understanding leaves the door open for remarkable possibilities. Archaeology depends entirely on what has successfully survived for millennia, but preservation is difficult. Organic materials decay rapidly. Cities built near coasts now lie beneath rising seas, and natural disasters like volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and climate shifts have repeatedly reshaped the surface of our planet. Because of this, evidence of earlier communities could simply have vanished. Today, we continue to find structures and artifacts that appear older, more sophisticated, and harder to explain than our standard timeline suggests. Sites like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, built more than 11,000 years ago, or controversial locations like Gunung Padang in Indonesia, challenge conventional thinking. If these places were truly constructed thousands of years before the accepted schedule for full civilization, who built them? How did they accomplish such impressive feats? And what inspired them? No one here is suggesting hidden alien mysteries or fictional lost continents. Instead, this is a serious acknowledgement of a simple truth. Human history may be far deeper and richer than we have yet fully understood. Even mainstream archaeologists openly admit that we have uncovered only a fraction of our distant past. Perhaps our timeline is not entirely wrong, just incomplete. Perhaps hidden within those vast stretches of unrecorded time, our cultures and societies we are only beginning to glimpse. Could our understanding of the origins of civilization continue to evolve? That is exactly the path we are walking as we explore archaeological discoveries that quietly suggest a human story more astonishing and mysterious than we previously preferred to believe. To see why these questions about ancient civilizations matter, we need to look closely at the timeline we accept as our own. One place where the conventional narrative faces its strongest challenge is in northeastern Turkey. There, a group of ancient sites has generated more interest than almost anywhere else. The most famous is Göbekli Tepe, but nearby, lesser-known locations like Karahan Tepe, Nevali Chori, Hamzan Tepe, and Sefer Tepe tell equally compelling stories. Göbekli Tepe was first noticed by researchers from the University of Istanbul in the 1960s, but its true significance was not recognized until 1994, when German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt began serious work there. At first glance, the site looked like an ordinary hill. But beneath the surface, Schmidt's team uncovered something extraordinary. Enormous T-shaped pillars arranged in circles. Some of these pillars stood over 5.5 meters tall and weighed several tons each. Radiocarbon dating placed the site at nearly 12,000 years old, long before farming or permanent cities were thought to exist. This meant Göbekli Tepe was built by hunter-gatherers, people we once assumed lacked the time, organization, or resources for such large-scale projects. What makes Göbekli Tepe truly remarkable is not only its age, but the intricate carvings on these massive pillars. Animals like foxes, birds, snakes, and scorpions, along with abstract symbols and even stylized human figures. No one is entirely sure what these symbols meant to their creators. Some archaeologists suggest they represent spiritual or religious ideas, or perhaps stories connected to the night sky. Many of the enclosures appear aligned with astronomical events, hinting at a sophisticated understanding of the natural world. Even more intriguing is that the entire site was deliberately buried around 10,000 years ago. Covering it would have required an enormous effort, yet we still don't know exactly why. Was it a symbolic act, the end of an era, or an attempt to protect the site for unknown reasons? Recently, the nearby site of Karahan Tepe has also begun attracting attention. Located about 46 kilometers away, it shares many similarities with Göbekli Tepe: T-shaped pillars, carved faces, and carefully constructed stones, suggesting it belonged to the same cultural tradition. Together with Göbekli Tepe and smaller sites like Nevali Chori, Hamzan Tepe, and Sefer Tepe, they form a cluster known locally as Taş Tepeler, or the Stone Hills. These discoveries challenge the long-held belief that hunter-gatherers lacked the resources and social organization for monumental construction. The size and complexity of these sites prove otherwise. How did these early groups manage to gather together, organize labor, and build such impressive monuments before the existence of large populations or agriculture? Archaeologists continue to debate these questions. Some believe sites like Göbekli Tepe may have brought hunter-gatherers together for rituals and feasts, strengthening social bonds and encouraging more permanent communities. Klaus Schmidt himself proposed that communal projects like these could have actually inspired early people to begin farming, rather than agriculture leading to monuments. Other researchers remain cautious, reminding us how little we truly know. For example, why did construction eventually stop at Göbekli Tepe? And why was the site so carefully buried? What sparked such a massive effort, and why have we not found clearer evidence of similar cultures elsewhere? One popular scholarly theory is that these monuments served ritual and ceremonial purposes. These gatherings could have fostered stronger communities. Another idea links the structures to dramatic climate changes at the end of the Ice Age, drawing people together to face new challenges. The main point is not that these mysteries point to something supernatural or hidden in conspiracy. Rather, the further we look, the more we realize how many stories we still do not fully understand. Göbekli Tepe and its neighboring sites do not rewrite history in dramatic fiction. Instead, they gently remind us how incomplete our current knowledge remains. These sites in Turkey are not isolated anomalies. Thousands of kilometers away in Indonesia lies another intriguing location that continues to spark intense debate among researchers. Gunung Padang, often referred to simply as Mount Padang. Nestled in the lush forests of West Java, this site initially appears as a series of stone terraces built with volcanic rock columns. Early studies dated the visible surface structures to between 2,500 and 3,500 years ago, fitting comfortably within known megalithic traditions in Southeast Asia. However, more recent geophysical surveys using ground-penetrating radar, seismic tomography, and core drilling have revealed complex, layered structures beneath the surface, including what some interpret as carefully arranged terraces and walls. Radiocarbon dating of soil samples from deeper layers has produced a wide range of results, with some claims suggesting activity as far back as 16,000 to 27,000 years ago. These findings have led to heated controversy. While a few researchers propose that Gunung Padang could represent a multi-layered monumental complex, possibly constructed over many millennia, mainstream archaeologists largely view the deepest dates with skepticism, arguing that the site is more likely a natural geological formation enhanced by later human activity during the late prehistoric or early historic period. Regardless of the final consensus, Gunung Padang serves as a powerful reminder that even well-studied regions can hide surprises, and that our understanding of early monumental construction in different parts of the world is still evolving. The end of the last ice age, around 12,000 years ago, brought dramatic changes to our planet. Global temperatures rose, melting massive ice sheets and causing sea levels to surge by approximately 120 meters, or nearly 400 feet, over several thousand years. Many coastal areas that were habitable for early human communities now lie submerged beneath the waves. If ancient people, like us today, preferred to build settlements near water sources and fertile coasts, then countless early sites could have been lost to the rising oceans. This post-glacial sea level rise likely erased entire chapters of human history, making underwater archaeology one of the most challenging yet promising fields for uncovering forgotten pasts. Several remarkable submerged sites have already been discovered and studied. Off the coast of India, near modern Dwarka, underwater explorations have revealed stone structures, walls, and artifacts that some link to descriptions in ancient Sanskrit texts of a legendary city associated with Lord Krishna. Excavations have uncovered pottery, anchors, and organized stone blocks, suggesting a once thriving port city that may have been inundated thousands of years ago. In Israel, the site of Atlit Yam, dating back about 9,000 years, represents one of the oldest known submerged Neolithic settlements. Divers have found stone walls, wells, houses, and even the earliest evidence of tuberculosis in human remains, offering a rare window into prehistoric coastal life that combined farming, fishing, and animal husbandry. Further in the Mediterranean, near Greece, lies Pavlopetri, often called the world's oldest submerged town. Discovered in the late 1960s and mapped extensively with modern technology, this Bronze Age settlement features streets, buildings, tombs, and harbour structures dating back around 5,000 years. Its sophisticated layout provides valuable insights into early urban planning before it was claimed by the sea. In Japan, the Yonaguni Monument off the coast of Yonaguni Island continues to fuel debate. This massive underwater rock formation displays remarkably geometric terraces, steps, and straight edges at depths of up to 26 meters. While many geologists attribute it to natural tectonic and erosional processes, others point to the precise angles and possible tool marks as evidence of human modification thousands of years ago, when sea levels were lower. These underwater discoveries represent only a tiny fraction of what may still lie hidden. Less than 10% of the world's ocean floors have been mapped in high detail, leaving vast possibilities for additional lost settlements. Marine archaeology faces enormous challenges: high costs, strong currents, poor visibility, and the rapid decay of organic materials. Yet each new find strengthens the idea that post-Ice Age sea level rise destroyed or buried evidence of early complex societies along ancient coastlines. Even on dry land, ancient engineering feats continue to puzzle experts. Around the world, megalithic structures demonstrate remarkable skill in stoneworking that seems to push the boundaries of what we expect from prehistoric or early historic technologies. In Lebanon, at the site of Baalbek, 3 enormous blocks, known as the Trilithon, form part of the foundation for a later Roman temple. Each weighs an estimated 750 to 800 tons, equivalent to more than a dozen fully loaded trucks. These precisely cut and positioned stones raise questions about how ancient builders quarried, transported, and placed such massive pieces with the tools available at the time. In Peru, near the city of Cusco, the fortress walls of Sacsayhuaman feature gigantic polygonal stones, some weighing over 100 tons, fitted together so tightly that not even a thin blade can slip between them. No mortar was used. The precision relies entirely on perfect shaping and interlocking. Nearby in Bolivia, the site of Pumapunku within the Tiwanaku complex displays andesite and sandstone blocks with machined-like precision, including clean right angles, recessed niches, and surfaces that fit like puzzle pieces. Some blocks weigh up to 130 tons and show evidence of advanced cutting techniques that continue to challenge modern replication efforts without heavy machinery. Other megalithic wonders add to the mystery. Stonehenge in England, with its massive sarsen stones transported over long distances more than 4,500 years ago. The ancient temples of Malta, like Hagar Kim and Menaidra, aligned with solar and lunar events and built over 5,000 years ago without metal tools. And the Plain of Jars in Laos, where hundreds of massive stone vessels of unknown purpose dot the landscape. These engineering achievements across different continents and eras share a common theme. They demonstrate that our ancestors possessed sophisticated knowledge of geometry, astronomy, logistics, and stoneworking far earlier and in more places than traditional timelines once suggested. Archaeologists propose explanations involving levers, ramps, rollers, and organized communal labor motivated by ritual or social needs. Yet, the sheer scale and precision at sites like Baalbek, Sacsayhuaman, and Pumapunku still prompt ongoing research and respectful debate about the full capabilities of early societies. As we reflect on all these ancient clues, from the T-shaped pillars of Göbekli Tepe, built by hunter-gatherers over 11,000 years ago, to controversial layered structures at Gunung Padang, to cities now sleeping beneath the waves, and to megaliths that defy easy explanation, one thing becomes clear: human history is far richer, deeper, and more surprising than the brief 6,000 years of recorded civilization might suggest. We have only scratched the surface of our story. Think for a moment about your own connection to the past. Have you ever visited an ancient site, explored ruins on a family trip, or heard stories from elders about local legends of lost cities or mysterious monuments? Perhaps you've stood in awe before massive stones and wondered how they were moved. If you have a personal experience or family story related to ancient mysteries, archaeological discoveries, or a sense of wonder about our forgotten history, share it in the comments below. Your real-life perspectives help bring these distant chapters alive and remind us all why curiosity about the past matters. As we near the end of this journey through the hidden layers of human civilization, if these stories of lost monuments, submerged cities, and engineering wonders have sparked your imagination, or made you question what else might still be waiting to be discovered, then take a moment right now to subscribe to the channel. We regularly dive deep into historical reconstructions, archaeological mysteries, and thoughtful explorations of our shared past. And here's one more heartfelt request. Share this video with just one person you truly respect and who shares your passion for uncovering the real story behind history. It takes only a second, but it helps us reach more curious minds who value evidence-based discussion and open-minded inquiry into the ancient world. Thank you for staying with me through this entire exploration. The official timeline we learn in school is a starting point, not the complete picture. Our ancestors achieved remarkable things long before we gave them credit, and many more chapters likely remain buried beneath soil, sand, and sea. History is not fixed. It continues to reveal itself as we ask better questions and explore with open eyes. If this video resonated with you, leave a like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one as we uncover more fascinating pieces of our incredible human story.